Season of Arrivals brings forth a new dungeon prophecy, awarding a pinnacle piece of gear upon completion, and a loot pool consisting of returning gear 1 weapons, Trials of the Nine armor, and a new set of Daito Foundry armor for each class. This video will give you a quick easy guide on how to complete each section. Before we get started, I will highly recommend that you are 1035 power minimum, as the enemies scale all the way up to 1060 by the end of the dungeon, and having too low of a power would result in a much longer time of completion and a higher chance of failure, as enemies will do more damage to you. Now that all of that's out of the way, let's get into the guide. This encounter will introduce us to the mechanic of the dungeon, which is the light and dark motes. Knights will drop 3 motes each, either light or dark, depending on where you're standing. To make light motes, you will need to stand in an area which is light. This gives an effect at the bottom of your screen, which looks like this. And for darkness motes, you must stand in an area of shade. This will give you the same effect at the bottom of your screen, but will be black instead of white, and it will look like this. At the back of each room, you will see 2 small platforms with either a dark or a light pillar protruding out of them. To dispel the pillars, you must pick up 5 of the corresponding motes. The knights you must kill will spawn in the tunnels to the right of the room. Once you've killed one, pick up the motes, and you will gain a 30-second timer above your super bar telling you how long you have to pick up the remaining motes. If you're already carrying motes, picking up motes of a different kind will clear the progress you have made, so be sure not to accidentally get the wrong ones. You will enter third person mode once 5 matching motes are collected, and you will be holding a large mote in your hands. You must carry this mote to its corresponding pillar and press the button which you use to shoot, and this will dispel the pillar. Repeat this for the other pillar, and the big circle door will open to the next room. This room is the same as the first, but instead of the tunnels to the right being dark like the first, the second will be all light. But the process is exactly the same, so repeat what you did in the first room, clear the pillars, and once again the big circle door will open, revealing a very large enemy on the other side, which will retreat into a breach in the wall. Follow this enemy and you'll be met by the next encounter. The goal of this encounter is to kill the Echo Phalanx boss. Every time there will be 2 light and 2 dark pillars on their respective platforms. The boss will have an invincible shield upon spawning, and clearing the pillars gives you a large window of time to damage the boss. So just like the last encounter, 5 motes will need to be collected from dead knights to form a large mote, and the pillars must be dispelled one by one. Once that is done, it's time to do some major damage to the boss. If you don't kill him in one phase, you have to repeat the process of taking down the shield. Once you kill the boss, a chest will spawn giving you a piece of legendary gear. Each player must stand on the sand circle in the middle of the arena, and this will take you to the wasteland. In the wasteland you'll have to find a place which is covered in taken blights. Once you've found it, you must clear the blights and kill all the enemies. You will see an orb of light in the middle of the area which looks very much like Toland. Running into that orb will move it to the next area. Follow the direction it teleports in and you will have to clear the blights and enemies 2 more times. This will open the door on a large cube and will take you to the next encounter. This encounter uses the same mechanic of the motes, but you need to dispel the correct pillar. There are 4 pillars on each edge of the room, and on one of those walls you will see Toland's orb floating. The wall of the room which Toland's orb is floating on is the correct pillar to get rid of, so collect your motes from the captains, either dark or light, and get rid of it. Once you do this, the circle in the middle of the arena will light up, and all players must stand on it to move you to the next room. Once dropped in, you will repeat this process of looking for Toland on the wall and dispelling the correct pillar of either light or dark. Sometimes Toland's orb will be at the very top of the room. To get to him, dispel a pillar on any side of the room. Run to the middle of the arena. When dropped onto the next room, you will look at the walls again and find Toland will be on one of them. Dispel the pillar on this side of the arena and continue with the encounter. Once you've done this enough times, you'll be dropped into this room where you will have to kill 2 Centurion bosses. Upon killing them, a chest will spawn that awards a legendary piece of gear. After exiting the room, you'll find yourself back in the wasteland, and you'll be met by the same enemy who's been blueballing us since the first encounter. You'll see it teleporting and spawning a host of thrall on you. Kill the thrall and follow the large enemy until you find yourself at another door in a cube. Enter and you will be met with the singularity. The singularity is best experienced by riding your sparrows across the ribbons, but if you want, you can use the platforms to navigate your way down to the end, where you will be transported to the final encounter within the dungeon. In this room you'll see 3 corners which have a pillar on it, and a cutout area on the wall where there will be a copy of the boss shooting at you. Like the last encounters, kill the knights to get either light or dark motes, and get rid of this pillar the same way as before. Once you do this, the copy of the boss will disappear, and an ogre will spawn on that corner. Kill it and repeat the process for the other corners. Once this is done, all members of your fight team must stand on the sand triangle to teleport to the damage phase. Once there, you will see many platforms and the boss. Do damage to the boss and dodge his portal that he throws at you, as it teleports you to the start of the room. The boss will constantly move backwards as the damage phase goes on, and when too far away you will see an effect above your superbar called Dark Entropy. When Dark Entropy reaches 11 stacks, you instantly die. To avoid the stacks reaching that high, you must stay within a certain vicinity of the boss. This range is visualized by a faintly glowing circle around him. If you do not kill the boss in one phase, you have to stand on the sand triangle that he teleports away into, and repeat the process in a different room. This room is similar to the first, but not the same, so there will be different areas of dark and light. Get yourself back to the boss and do your damage, and once killing him, you will be awarded your pinnacle reward, and you will be teleported to a large space with the Emissary of the Nine to receive another legendary piece of gear from a chest. That concludes this guide for the Dungeon Prophecy. If this helped you get through your first run, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel to catch more of my content in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.